Good afternoon, and welcome to the 800 Credit Score Man Show. I'm your host, Kevin King. He is I, and I am him, the 800 Credit Score Man himself. And again, thank each and every one of you for coming in and listening to the 800 Credit Score Man Show. I truly appreciate it. I didn't get to check the numbers before I started the show today, but I want to thank everybody that listens to the show, shared the show, all of those things. Pushing up on 70,000 listeners to the show on iTunes and Spreaker alone. So thank you guys very much. If you have not shared the show with somebody, please share the show with somebody. I appreciate it if you would. I gotta say, hey, today is show number 99. If you follow me on Instagram or Twitter or on Facebook or what have you, I have been posting just this 100. I've just been doing 100 for the last week and a half, and that 100 signifies the fact that we're coming up on the 100th show of the 800 Credit Score Man Show, and I can't believe that it's been that many shows, but it absolutely have. So next week on October 27th will be the 100th show of the 800 Credit Score Man Show, and I couldn't have done it without each and every one of you. So thank you guys for listening. And what are we going to talk about today? So we've been talking about this whole 30% of your credit utilization the last couple of weeks. I've been really harping on that. So we're going to shift gears a little bit, and today we're going to talk about so many people have collections, right? So we're not going to talk about collections in the normal sense. So we're not going to talk about collections the way we normally have talked about them. We're going to talk a little bit about a debt collector. So what can a debt collector legally do? What can they do? Can they call you? Can they keep calling you? Can they call you 100 times a day or whatever? We're going to talk about that a little bit today. And if we get a chance, we're going to talk a little bit about negotiating with your debt collectors, not like the show that I've done before that gave you the whole strategy, my personal strategy. So my strategy is not the same as everybody else's. I'm not sure if other people have a strategy that will help you out when it comes to your credit, but I have a strategy for that. So we're not talking about that. I'm actually going to refer to an article that I read that talked about 5 of the best ways to negotiate when it comes down to your debt collection. So we're going to talk about those things today. And then maybe, just maybe, I'll get a chance to tell you guys about this whole savings thing. So a long time ago, I threatened to do a video, and I say threatened because I haven't done it. So I threatened to do a video for you guys showing you on the savings that I made for my children, how I do savings for them. And Cameron, being the middle child, I think I told you guys I save every quarter. Every quarter that I get, I save and I put in his piggy bank. And I've done that since he was born. He just turned 8 years old. So he's got a lot of money. He's got, for an 8-year-old, he's balling. So, and most of that is from quarters. And then, of course, money he gets from birthdays and Christmas and things of that nature. But I said I was going to do a video to kind of show you this piggy bank that I use for him. And I think you'll be amazed that this little piggy bank can hold so much money and it get emptied out a couple of times a year. So follow me if you don't. Follow me on Instagram at 800 Credit Score Man on Instagram, on Twitter at Credit Score _Man, and then, of course, on Facebook, the 800 Credit Score Man on Facebook. So follow me at those places so you can see this video when I drop this video, so you can kind of see. I may even do this comparison. I'm thinking I'll let you guys kind of guess how much money you think is in this particular one, and then also versus Carter's. So he's the youngest. He gets all the other change. And so his piggy bank, if you will, which is really a jar, his jar is bigger than Cameron's piggy bank. And let's see which one you think has the most money. And then also how much money is there. Just for fun, no prize, none of that stuff. But I want you guys to check that out. So let's go ahead and let's dive into what we're going to talk about today. So I said, what can a debt collector actually do to you, really? And the reason I bring this up is because 1 out of 3 Americans, 1 out of 3 have some kind of debt in collections. Unfortunately, medical is like the biggest portion of all of our collections, but we also have other things that have been sent to collections, whether it's, maybe it's even a private student loan, or it could be a cell phone bill, cable bill, whatever it is. We have things that have been sent to collections. So 1 in 3 Americans actually have some kind of debt in collections. So you live on the street, right? You live on the street, you got a house, you live on the street, or you live in an apartment, you got neighbors, right? So you live in a house, you got a neighbor to the right of you, you got a neighbor to the left of you. Of the three of you guys, one of you has a debt that's in collections. So that's why I brought this up. So that also means that you're not alone. So if you've got a debt in collections, it means you're not alone. And also, if you haven't been listening to the show for the last 99, maybe you don't know, but you can get out of that situation. And getting out of that collection will help increase your credit score for sure. So you need to definitely know your rights when it comes to what debt collectors can do and what they can't do. So if you want to dive into, what governs this, what does the law say about it, then you can go to, actually all you got to do is Google. You can go to the Federal Trade Commission website, or you can just Google this, the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. Yes, the FDCPA. So that's the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. That's the act that governs what can debt collectors do, what they can't do, what your remedies are. If they do break whatever the law says for them, then what are your remedies as well? So you have those. So here's one thing that debt collectors can do. So debt collectors can call you at your home. They can call you on your cell phone, and they can even call you at work. So I know some of you guys may not have known that, and you get offended, highly upset if they give you a call at any one of these places. And so you may have been aware, of course, they can call you at home. But then some people are like, I can't believe that they got my cell phone number. Where did they even get my cell phone number from? But they're calling me on my cell phone. And then if they call you at work, God forbid they call you at work, and then one of your nosy coworkers gets to hear that some agency or some person named John that sounds like a debt collector is calling you at work. So yes, they do have the ability to do that. They can legally call you at work, or any number that's associated with your name. So if you got a common name like mine, they'll be all day looking for me, because Kevin King is a very common name, and so they'll be forever looking for me if they were looking for numbers associated with my name. But that's what they can do. So any number that's associated with your name, they can give you a call at that number and try to collect from you. So here's your rights behind that. Debt collectors cannot call you before 8 a.m. or after 9 p.m. according to your time zone. So I'm going to tell you right now, people will pick up the phone and they'll give you a call. They're a debt collector. They'll give you a call, and it's after 9 o'clock where you are, your time zone. And in this age where people hold on to their cell phone numbers, they had the cell phone number from back where they grew up at, but now they actually live somewhere else. They live on the East Coast. They live on the West Coast. So they have a number that may be, say, a East Coast number, but they actually live on the West Coast. You get to be called between 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. your time zone, according to where you are. That's when they can call you. This is something that they also, here's what they can't do as well. So they cannot continually call you over and over. Now, the law says something like a unreasonable amount of times. So what does that mean? Reasonable to one person is not reasonable to another person. So it's very vague in that, but it's saying that they can't call you over and over on a daily basis to collect on you. Now, I will tell you this, back in the day, I don't know if it was legal or illegal at this point in time, but back in the day when I was a lender, I had a personal loan office, and I was making personal loans, and I had to collect the debt on somebody. So not only did I, look at their credit, evaluate it, approve them or deny them, but if they had a loan with us, then they didn't pay, I would also have to collect on that loan. So that meant sending letters and also giving them a call, things of that nature. So I know what we would do, and I've seen it happen in my own home, that debt collector will call you but not leave a message. So they call you, they wouldn't leave a message, they just hang up, and then they don't count that as a collection attempt on you. So they may call you at 8 a.m. like they can and not leave a message. Then maybe they'll call back again at 10, and if you don't answer again, they may not leave a message. Then they'll call back again at 1 o'clock in the afternoon after they've gone to lunch, and they come back, they call you again, and they don't leave a message. Then they may call you at 3:30, 4 o'clock, and then they'll finally leave you a message. So they have called your number over and over and over again, but they never made any contact with you. You didn't pick up the phone. They didn't leave a message on your quote unquote answering machine or your voicemail. So they don't necessarily count that. Now, is that legal or not legal? I'm not sure. That's that gray area, as far as I'm concerned. That's that gray area of if they can do that. But I know that's what people did back in the day, and they probably still do the same thing again. So also, let's talk about this one a little bit. So if you've told them in writing, or you actually talked to them on the phone and said, hey, you cannot call my job, or you don't even have to be the person to tell them that. If you work at a place and you don't have a phone necessarily at your place, but you receive calls there periodically, or you have a manager that always answers the phone or what have you, if they tell them that you can't receive calls there at your job, then they can no longer give you a call at your job. Now, if they do give you a call at the job, then you have your own set of remedies to talk about as well, and we'll talk about that toward the end of the show. But you got to make sure if they're told that and they continue to call, you need to document it first of all. However you want to do it. If you want to write it down, somewhere, make a little chart for yourself that they kept calling you even after they were notified that they couldn't call you, then that would be good for you in case, something comes down legally for that. So you can always request that they stop contacting you. So you can tell, your debt collector to stop calling me, period, point blank. Whether you want to work out arrangements to deal with this debt or not, you can tell them to stop calling you, period. So you can say, hey, don't call this number anymore. And they called you on your cell phone, they can't call your cell phone anymore. You tell them, hey, don't contact me at all. So that means don't call my job, don't call my cell, don't call my home phone. Then once you've notified them of that, they're supposed to stop calling you. Now, they can start to send you letters and whatnot, but they can no longer try to catch you on the phone in the same manner that they had been doing before. All right, so here's what they can do then after you say, don't contact me, don't call me anymore. This is probably going to shock you guys a little bit. So the one thing that won't shock you is that then they can contact you through snail mail, right? So they can send you a letter in the mail, detailing your issue and how much you owe and, that kind of thing. They can send you that after you told them don't contact me anymore. They can also email you. So if they have your email address, they can email you. I didn't find in my research anywhere that said like a limit on emails or how many times a week or how many times a month they can send you email, but they can actually email you as well to try to get in contact with you. So maybe some of you guys didn't know that. Here's the thing that when I did tell some people about this that they were shocked about, they can text you. Yes, they can text you trying to collect from you as well. Now, nobody has ever admitted to me that they've been texted by their debt collectors, but I'm sure if it's legal for them to do it, then they are doing it as well. So yes, they can actually text you as well. So in this regard, there's not much that I found that you can do to stop that from happening. Now, they can't harass you. So whatever harassment means necessarily, but they are never allowed to, threaten you, harass you, or deceive you in any way. So they can't call up saying that they're, Tim Jones and they're actually not Tim Jones. They can't do that. So they're, required by law to disclose who they are, that they're trying to collect the debt from you. Any information that they receive is going to be used, in this debt collection process and things of that nature. That they have to do. But they're never allowed to threaten, harass, or even deceive you in that light. So some of you guys get caught up every now and then. A guy or a lady will call you and they'll just say your name, Kevin, and then you answer yes, and then they go into professional mode. They call you like, it's a friend, it's somebody that you